Fender Stratocaster American Pro 2 with a one-piece rosewood neck. Let's do this. Let's go over the specs of this guitar because it's a full one-piece rosewood neck. We also have the rosewood on the headstock. And as you can see, we get the Fender Stratocaster laser engraved, which is just awesome. I love it. It looks great. It's very unique. We have the standard tuners that you get on the Fender American Pros. They're not locking. They're just regular, and they're okay. They're not the greatest, but they do the job well enough. We have your bone nut, rolled fingerboard edges, which is very nice. We have 22 narrow tall frets. I actually like the narrow tall frets. I know some people don't like them because they're a little too narrow, but honestly, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. It works just fine for me. And let's go along here. We have the tortoiseshell pick guard. We have our HSS pickups. We have the V-Mod 2 single coils. And for the humbucker, we have the double tap. Big fan of the double tap. I really like it. When you do tap the humbucker, or split coil it with the push-push, which is a very nice feature, by the way, it doesn't lose a lot of volume like you typically find when you split a humbucker. And that makes it much more enjoyable to play and easier, especially in a live context. You don't have to play with volume levels and worry about significant drops. It's not a significant drop. It's one of the best split sounds that I've ever heard out of a humbucker. Probably my favorite out of everything I've tried. It's really nice. So that double tap humbucker is great. And the V-Mod 2 pickups, also very nice. I prefer them to the V-Mod 1s, which were good as well. These ones are just a little nicer in my opinion. A little more organic sounding. And you have your typical bridge, which you can set up to float if you would like, or to the body. Mine's floating currently, so you can use some of that trim action. Of course, you have your 5-way, tortoiseshell pickguard, sonic blue finish, which is very nice. Flip it over. We have tortoiseshell on the back plate. And let's get a look at that. Oh yes, and then we have the contour here on the heel, which I do enjoy. It is more comfortable than the regular big block. And on the rosewood neck models, you have most of the info, like the serial number and so on, right on the plate. And even though this is a one-piece rosewood neck, because it's a Fender, you always have the quote-unquote skunk stripe, which is where they install the truss rod. I believe it's walnut. But the rosewood neck is absolutely stunning, and it feels really nice. It's really smooth. You can feel just enough for the grain. Absolutely, just love it. I just love it so much. It's great. probably the most enjoyable neck on all the guitars that I own. I just love it. It's great. And finally, we have your Fender hard case, which is my favorite hard case to date. It's the molded plastic, has the TSA locks, has a very, very heavy duty handle, unlike the majority of handles out there. This one's very solid. I don't feel like it's gonna fall off. And then I'm gonna lose my guitar when I'm transporting it. So yeah, that's the specs of this guitar. All right, what do I think of this guitar overall? Well, I really like it, weight is 7.9 pounds, almost 8 pounds. I've noticed a lot of Stratocasters and Telecasters these days, especially with all their bodies, heavier than usual in the last number of years. I think it's just where they're sourcing the wood. So getting Strats that are in the 8 pound range is pretty normal these days, especially with the Rosewood neck, the full Rosewood neck, which is just gorgeous. It feels wonderful. I love the feel of it. Rosewood tends to be heavier than a lot of maple as well, so that's going to add to the weight when you get a special edition one with the full Rosewood neck. Overall, one of my favorite guitars to play, one of the best Strats that I've played that isn't a custom shop, made by Fender. And yeah, just something about a Strat, it's just all the right tones come out, right? It's just, you play differently, you come up with new licks on the spot, you improv differently. It's just something about this classic design that lends itself to songwriting and cool sounds. I'll say it again, I really like the double tap humbucker. The V-Mod 2 pickups are great, very organic sounding, nicer than the V-Mod 1 pickups. And I like in the American Pro Series 2 that they went to the double tap humbucker, because the Shawbucker sounded really good, and it's very similar actually in tone and output and EQ. But the Shawbucker didn't split, and the double tap splits very, very nicely. Very, very well. So I love it. This combination better than the American Pro 1. HSS combination. And oh man, the rolled fingerboard edges, they're really good. Quality control, pretty good overall, I would say. Solid, no big issues with this one. Although in the last number of years, I've seen a lot of American Fenders with quality issues. So keep an eye out for that, especially these days, you know, post-pandemic, quality has dropped significantly, I found, in the QC department. So definitely be prepared for some issues, even if it's a Fender American. It's gonna happen, unfortunately, with supply chain issues and all those things. But it's this one I got, it's a 2021, and I got it right at the beginning of 2021, I believe. So I've had it for a while now, and it sounds great, feels great. I love picking it up, just love it. Anything else to say? Quality issues, the nut is just is really nice. It's pretty nice on the treble side, but on the bass side, it's not. It could be more flush. It's not going to cause any problems, but you can feel it's not entirely flush. Again, that's pretty typical of American Pro 2 series level. Nothing wrong there. The nut's cut a little high, but that's usually personal preference. It's pretty good, actually. It's just the low E is higher than I think it should be, but it's still within spec, so no problems there. Otherwise, when you get the full Rosewood necks especially, sometimes you'll get some fret sprout, just the nature of the Rosewood neck itself, and because they don't do a very good job these days because they're rushing things out the door to let the wood kind of pre-shrink. So it's very common to get some fret sprout. I did. So I waited in the winter time. I let the winter finish, or near finish, and then I got a tech to just file the edges so that they weren't bad. Just you could feel them. I don't like that. Other than that, it's really good. It's really good. American Pro 2s, however, they need better tuners. They need the locking tuners. So overall, big win, in my opinion. I think if you can get a Strat with a full Rosewood neck, the one piece, it's worth it. It feels really nice. It gives you a totally different vibe. It resonates differently. It feels different. It's really nice. Overall, I'm very happy with the purchase. I had an American Pro 1 in the past. It was pretty good. It did have some uneven frets, so that had to be fixed. This one, the frets are level, so no problem there. It played well too. It sounded really good, but the American Pro 2, I think, is kind of worth the upgrade, in my opinion. I prefer the contour on the neck joint, and I like the pickup selections better. I like the push-push functionality for the split. If you have an HSS configuration, everything else is pretty similar as the American Pro one, but the American Pro 2, just so I like the extra features that they threw in there. But either way, if you're in the market for an American Fender Strat, the American Pro series is probably one of the ways to go, especially if you want like semi-modern features without getting too vintage. So this is great. And if you can get one of these limited edition ones with the Rosewood neck, again, do it, so good. I don't know when they'll become available again. And again, I'm in Canada, so there was a special run. That's how I was able to get this one. And they had some other colors too, which were nice, but Sonic Blue, big fan. But yeah, I did sell my original American Pro, Daffy Blue with the roasted maple neck, which was a limited edition as well, for this one, because even though the other one played really well, it was great, this one, the Rosewood neck on it, it sold me. It sold me. And the feel, it's just a little nicer, in my opinion. And again, Strats are Strats. You gotta have one in your collection, and the American Pro Series 2 is a great place to start, in my opinion. So that's it for me. Mike from GearHeads signing off. Have a good one.